7, a look at your box score, maybe most notably Tua Turndaballova, 3 interceptions on the day. 2 were his faults, but you can't have that many. All right, back in studio with the guys. Mac, I want to talk about the importance of this win. We can assess some of the how, but the importance of LA coming away a winner here after back-to-back losses against the Giants and the Commanders. To have fallen to Miami here would have been damning to a season. Not completely, but to how we project this team. How does this change that projection?
It changes because when you look at how they started the season in the dominant fashion in which they were displaying, we all feel like this was a for sure legit playoff caliber team, a team that could contend for their divisional crown in the AFC West. And then the 2 unexpected losses, especially a week ago, untimely turnovers offensively, seeing some holes surface on the defensive side. It made this game that much more important because of the team you're playing against, a team in the Miami Dolphins, entering today's matchup only 1 win. No playoff hopes at all for Miami. So you got to win the ball games you're supposed to win. That's the life of a playoff caliber team in the National Football League. They found a way to get it done. Not having Omarion Hampton, who would be the running back? Who would be the bell cow? Well, Kamani Vidal showed up 120 plus yards on the ground. A career day for him. If I don't even have to look at his stats, I know that's a career day for him. You look at Ladd McConkey showing up to the party. Offensively, did what they're supposed to do. Defensively, yes, they forced some turnovers, but we saw some issues in the run defense area. I mean, Devon Achane was running through the defense, around the defense. That is a bit concerning, but they made the necessary plays to be able to come out of Miami with a much-needed win. So kudos to Coach Harbaugh and his staff.
I'm always amazed at what we're watching the Chargers do this season and how they're winning these ball games. You look at how they beat Kansas City, right? And then you look at how they won this ball game. These are games that they usually would have lost in terms of a Chargers way, right? But they found a way to get out of the mud and come out on top. You talk about Kamani Vidal, outstanding game today. He was toting the rock rather well. And you also look at Ladd McConkey, big plays in a key part of the ball game. And living up to that moniker, I tagged him with the Bambi moniker coming out of college. Reminds me of Lance Allward, who played with the Chargers, right? So he's making these big plays in these high leverage moments, as is Justin Herbert. So the entire Chargers team, talking about the passing, the running, the kicking, these are moments where they usually come up small, but they came up huge today. So even though it wasn't an ugly win, got the win like we talked about. That seems to be the common theme today. Yeah. Chargers did a great job today in Miami.
And so hopefully they're going to have Joe Alt back. Maybe next week. We'll see. Still dealing with that high ankle sprain there. They are getting healthier, right? Omarion Hampton going on IR. He's going to miss some time. I could see the Chargers certainly making a deal for a running back before the November 4th trade deadline. Probably much sooner than that because they're going to need some help at running back. Shout out to Vidal for the game that he had. Is that going to continue the next couple of weeks? We'll see. This is a big game that they have coming up against the Indianapolis Colts, a team that many think is a true contender at this point. So we'll see about how these two teams face off against one another. But shout out to the Chargers for finally, it was looking kind of rough right there, right? You lose to the Giants, you lose to the Commanders after having 2 turnovers, figuring out a way after blowing a 13-point lead today to get the win.
And the 1-win Dolphins stay that way. We continue to have a bit of whiplash on the touchdown to interception ratio here for Tua Turndaballova after 2 clean games. Comes back with 3 interceptions here. A peek at Justin Herbert's numbers the last 3 games. It was a get-right spot, and they just got right. A big-time connection and a big-time play to Ladd McConkey spells victory for the Chargers in Miami. 2-3-1 with that tie again to Green Bay, but this is one that they wanted. Offensively sound, but defense continues to be a sieve as Carolina draws back to even 500. All right, back in studio with the guys. Emery, we sat there and watched this one together. It was a Dallas performance that we've seen throughout the entire of the season. Most total yards as an offense in the NFL coming to this one, most yards allowed. We see that represented in this final score. What did you make of the total performance here from Dallas?
Well, the offense is fine. Defensively, they can't stop anybody. I thought they played fine defensively early in the game, but as the game wore on, that's when Carolina started finding confidence and they started finding plays down the field. They let a dead team come back to life. And that, right in and of itself, is not playing winning defense. You want to play your best defense in critical situations. I thought this was handled better by Carolina, more so than Dallas in that regard. And when you talk about the Panthers in this game and how they were able to, find life and make things happen, they always had an answer. Dallas refused to put this team away, and that's why they lost this ball game.
Plain and simple for me, the Rico Dowdle revenge game.
Yeah.
he made it known that this game was personal for him. And I appreciate the honesty because oftentimes when a player is playing against his former team, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's just the next best game. He said this was personal. And guess what he went out and did? 183 yards on the ground, 56 through the air, over 200 yards of total offense, and a touchdown.
That's off the career high 206 last week in his first start as a Panther. So you do the math. This man is balling in his first 2 games.
Yes, Emily, you talked about the issues for the Cowboys defensively. It was more so about their inability to stop Rico Dottle. Period. Nobody else. Number 5 was a madman today, and they needed him to be as such for Carolina to come back into this ball game. The Dallas Cowboys defensively, they will be the death of the Cowboys in terms of playoff hopes because their offense, without CD Lamb, they're still a playoff caliber offense. Without CD Lamb, Dak Prescott is still slicing opposing defenses. But because of their defense, it goes undone. It's almost like they're wasting quality offensive play because they can't get the necessary stops to win ball games like today. And it's unacceptable and it's annoying, but this is the life they're living in currently for the Dallas Cowboys. You got to try to outscore every team you play. It doesn't matter if you're playing against Bryce Young or Sam Young. It don't matter. You got to outscore whoever the opposing quarterback is.
I thought Steve Young was going to get a shout out.
No, Sam. Shouts out Sam.
We appreciate that as well. 216 rushing yards here, JJ.
Yep.
We oftentimes talk about the young quarterback's best friend being a run game that can do exactly what Carolina did in this matchup. But what sort of belief does this build in a young quarterback still trying to find it?
Well, it's huge, right? Because this is no Chuba Hubbard. And without Chuba, you were thinking, oh, boy, the Panthers are certainly about to struggle being with Rico Dowdle. That has not been the case these last couple of weeks. Rico Dowdle not only, of course, leading them in rushing, also in receiving. We saw Ted McMillan there in the end zone twice, but Rico Dowdle leading the Carolina Panthers in receiving against the Dallas Cowboys, which, B-Mac, speaks to your point even more. You should be winning football games when the leading receiver is the running back for the other team. I want to shout out the Carolina Panthers, though, who, for the first time since 2021, are at 500 this deep in the season. You know, there was after week 2, the Panthers are 0-2. Yep. There was some question before that last drive by Bryce Young against the Arizona Cardinals about whether there could be another benching of Bryce Young and bring in Andy Dalton. And now they have turned things around, being at 500, a Carolina Panthers team, and I think we all believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win that division. But this is a Panthers team that can be competitive, that can win football games. So shout out to them and Dave Canales here in year 2.
And the crazy part is when you look at Rico Dottle having this game, it shows you that they have a running game. They're not just running plays. So it doesn't matter who's the back there. They've found a way to scheme up run plays. And when you look at this division, seeing how the Falcons play tomorrow or whatnot, and you see how Carolina has found some life.
Carolina beat them 30-0.
Exactly. So now you look at Carolina, you look at this rest of the division. This is going to be interesting. We thought it was going to be Tampa Bay, but now we never know with this Carolina Panthers team. But I like how they are running the football, regardless of who's back there at tailback.
Some very clear splits emerging. 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road, but an even 500 this late in the season. We know Carolina fans will take that. More to come here on HQ as we take a look at Tedoroa McMillan, most receiving touchdowns in a game by a rookie, too.
Say it with your chest.